Okay.
May I have the stance?
Good afternoon, everyone, and welcome to another edition of Topic Time with Harrison Young. The weather people said it was supposed to be mild out today. I don't know if they were here or in Rio de Janeiro, because here it is not mild. I was freezing my June's off waiting to be let in here. But of course, as usual, we are heating the premises up tonight with an awesome guest. Bobby Faria here. He's a musician. He's comedically intact, too. You're going to find out. He's going to crack us all up tonight. He's already cracked me up on the phone, and I just met him. And I'm telling you, I got to get my laughing cords ready, because we are going to be chuckling tonight. Look at him. He's already into it. I love it. But we're going to be doing something a little unusual. He's going to be, well, first we're going to be talking to him, but he was caught in traffic, so he couldn't go back and get his guitar, unfortunately. But something even better has popped up. I always say everything happens for a reason. We're going to be hearing his iPhone, and he's going to be singing along to it. He actually plays in a band, but he's not accustomed to doing solos. So what we're going to be doing is he's going to be backing up his own sound with his bandmates on the iPhone, and he's going to be singing along to it. But before we start that, we're going to learn a little about him. So, Bobby, how you doing tonight? Thanks for coming in.
Nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you, too.
We've been apparently friends on Facebook for a while.
That's true.
But like many of my friends on Facebook, I either met them when I was in a club and there were a lot of people around and they remembered my name, or I've never actually physically met them at all. I don't know how some of them come around.
Me either.
But glad to know you and glad to be here. Thank you.
Indeed. Okay.
Well, rest my case. And by the way, I wanted to ask you, as long as we have a moment. I know you're the asker guy, and I'm the answer guy.
No, this is a one-on-one combo.
I wanted to ask you why you chose that music for your theme song, because although I love it, I don't. Nothing clicked in terms of topic time or, you know.
All right. Well, let me clarify it for you. Let me clarify it for you. First of all, I didn't choose it. My old TV station in the lovely town of Marshfield, Mass, back on August 18th, 2010, when I began the show. It was a Wednesday night, just like tonight. It was a very warm Wednesday. This theme song was picked for me by a gentleman named Chris Lawn, like lawn, or lawn, like a landscape lawn. He said, "You need a theme song for your show. You're a rookie. You're starting a new show, and I think this one will be just fine for you. Try it and see what you think." So I tried it a couple of weeks. Now, when I began the show in 2010, at that time, in the summer of 2010, I was basically just going solo. I didn't have any guests. We were going live at the time in Marshfield. We could do that. We can't do it here because they have, everything's taped here. They don't have any live shows. I was trying to get calls in basically from the viewing audience. I was basically discussing the news of the week, which is always pretty depressing, or at least it usually is.
Yeah, I'll say.
Right. We bring in the newspapers, magazines, Time Magazine, whatever, every week. But the theme song was kind of like an uppity thing, and I listened to it, I did it a couple of weeks. I didn't start doing the cheer dance. It sort of like evolved. I heard it for maybe 2 or 3 shows, and all of a sudden, next thing I know, I'm kind of like hopping along to it, and it's pretty cool.
It is. It's a great song.
It is,
I don't know the title of it, though.
I don't either. It's
all right, then.
But it's my song. It is.
I wrote it.
Well, the thing is, you want to claim that you wrote it? Go ahead. That's fine.
No, okay, I didn't know.
It's a non-copyright jazz ensemble. That's all I know.
Is that what it is?
That's all I know, and I don't know who did it.
That's the spirit.
But nobody sued me for it. I've been using it for 5 years, and that's fine with me. And I think, quite frankly, it's my song now.
I think it could be.
Yeah.
And when I started watching your stuff on YouTube. Yep. And I enjoyed watching you talk with, especially the young ladies.
Of course, I love having young ladies on.
You're a man of taste.
Oh yeah.
Yes.
I know how to pick them, as they say.
But I noticed the theme song, and I said,
I don't mean just noses, by the way.
I'm sorry?
I don't mean just noses. I mean, I know how to pick them. I don't mean just noses.
Not just noses.
Bada boom.
Two can play at this game.
Indeed.
Why, I will now have to say something funnier. Now I
if
won't.
you choose to. But go on.
Basically,
good feedback.
I thought I would try, try and learn it.
Okay.
And play it. And so I'm playing along with it and learning it, and I'm going, that would be kind of fun. But then I said, nah, it's really not your style, and you're not going to walk in and run this man's show. So.
Oh, that's okay. No, but I mean,
already
I'm
started
always
interviewing
welcome
you,
to
though.
That's great. But you know what? Like I mentioned to everybody that I have on the show, it's an interview, but it's also a two-way conversation, and it's really what it's about.
That's true.
You know, it's a very loose, easygoing event. My show. It's not a grill session. You know, you're not up for anything. You don't have a mug shot except for our selfie that we did, and we already posted to Facebook. Well, you don't have to worry about getting a number on your sweater. It's just basically just easy going, one-on-one conversation, and see where it takes us. You know, that's how it's worked for me for 5 years, and that's how it'll always work for me, basically.
Okay.
And the theme song is just it's an easy-going theme song, easy to listen to, as you know, and that's why
I
I
have
like
a lot of Brazilian friends too. Over the years, I've known many people from Brazil, and that, of course, is.
We weren't even talking about Brazil, but go ahead and interject.
Well, we were talking about that music, which is Brazilian in nature.
It is.
Oh, absolutely.
See, I didn't know that. That's why I love it. I learn
Absolutely.
something every day. I still believe that. But
Oh, yes.
how do you know that?
I'm not sure how I know that, but I know that it is.
Okay.
And if there's no
I'll
one
take your
here who
word
will
for
tell
it.
otherwise, and if you're sure you don't know, then I'm going to tell you. It definitely is.
Okay. Well, you know, it's funny you should say that. I don't know about Brazilian. What I'm saying is, if you say it's Brazilian, perhaps you're right. You probably are right. But when now that I think of it though, there's a fusion jazz band called Spyro Gyra, which you're probably familiar with. Great band, and I saw them live October 24th, 1981. It was a Saturday. I have a photographic memory for dates. Now, you're a little older than I am. Now, if you told me that if you have any kids or anything, you told me the dates of birth, like if they were days of the week they were born and what I was doing that day.
Is that right?
Oh, yeah. That's funny.
I don't know how handy that is, but you'd be a great person at a party, I bet.
Yeah, except I never get invited to any.
Ah.
Short of that, I would be if I had.
See that?
Invite me.
See this guy? He's all right. Where's the camera anyway? I can't even find it.
Well, it's right there where the red light is.
Oh, the red light
Or
one.
is that an orange light? I don't know. Who cares?
Okay. Well, the lights are bright. My eyes hurt. I have contact lenses on, and I look like glassy-eyed.
You guys want to make a light change out here? He's hurt. His lights are hurt. His eyes are hurting.
No, it's
all right. As long as you're okay.
Yeah, I don't know. I'm a musician. I'm supposed to be wearing sunglasses.
That's true. Even at
Even
night.
though it's not. Well, I didn't bring a watch.
Well, of course, it's still daylight savings. But go on.
So about the Brazilian thing.
Yep.
I thought my Brazilian friends, a lot of them live in this neighborhood.
Do they?
Well, I mean, in this neck of the woods, the southern part of
The state of Massachusetts.
State, yeah.
Yep.
And Portuguese in general. I mean, I was born in Fall River.
Cool. Great
I
city.
was raised in Middletown, Rhode Island. Actually, I was born in Fall River because my parents came from there.
Cool.
And
My father used to date a girl from there.
Yeah? What a coincidence. Mine, too.
Wow. There you go. Oh, they're still together.
hilarious.
Mine are not. Well,
What if it was the same girl?
Right? No, it's not the same. Her name was Rhoda, like the TV show.
Rhoda. Wow, that was a good show. Okay, so anyway, born at St. Anne's Hospital. Let's hear it from all those folks born at St. Anne's. And
Is that when Lizzie
Raised
Borden
in-
was born too?
probably, yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know.
I always wondered if Lizzie Borden was a Durfee grad.
I don't know. I thought everyone. I'm not sure there's any other high schools.
That's right. That's why I was thinking she was.
Dominican Academy, but I don't know how high that
Okay.
goes. My mom went
I didn't
there.
know that. I thought the only
Right.
public high school was Durfee in Fall
Public
River.
high was Durfee, yeah.
Right.
Anyway, my childhood and everything I knew, I forgot where I was going with this, to be quite honest. So my point was
Your
Brazilian people,
friends and
yes.
Portuguese friends.
And I'm happy that I'm here today because, it's this guy. I'm happy that I'm here today because
I'm happy that you're here today
the
too.
people who are seeing me on television, and I don't have my hands behind my back. I'm not trying to cover my face, and I'm not on the way to an arraignment, which I think is really great.
It is.
Although, that's never happened before. But most of their friends, that's how they get to see them on TV.
What, an arraignment?
Oh, yeah.
Okay. I didn't think they allowed TVs in the arraignment, in the courtroom.
I don't know. I mean, I'm talking about getting out of the police car and stuff.
Oh, okay.
Anyway, there are things that I could say that are actually funny,
Go ahead.
but I don't know what they are yet.
Okay, well, they'll come up. Don't worry.
That one, I just took too long to pull
The
that.
cauldron, it always comes up.
You edit this show, right?
I don't edit anything. That's why I love about this TV
All right,
station.
Take
I
out this
don't
part
need
of the
tech
screen
work. They
over
do it all
here.
for me.
Take this part of the screen out, and everything will be great.
Okay.
All right. So what else you want to talk about?
Okay. Well, what was you? All right. I was going to ask you what it was like for you growing up. You mentioned the geographic part of your life.
Growing up was hard.
Talk about the other aspects, the sociological aspects of growing up.
Sociological aspects of growing up. My parents were wonderful people.
Okay.
I love them.
Are they still with us?
They're not still with
They're
us.
not
No,
still
they've
with
been
us.
gone since both of them in 1980.
Wow.
No, 1990. Excuse me.
1990, 25
Yes.
years. Yeah.
And you know, it's been a long, hard road
Yeah,
since then.
sure, sure.
But, you know, growing up was hard for everybody, I think.
Oh, I know.
I'm sure that there was
Hard for
somewhere
me.
somebody who grew up and didn't mind anything. In fact, I probably knew them. They were like the cheerleaders and the
Oh,
football stars and all that. I had my share of difficulties, but really, my guitar was my best friend.
okay.
I had.
When did you
other
start? How
friends.
old were you when you started playing and doing music?
Let's see. First of all, my father was very musical. My mother was also a pianist.
Okay.
Not professionally. My father
Right.
professionally. He was very definitely a pro. He started studying violin when he was like 4.
Wow.
Grew up in Fall River in the mean streets of Fall River.
Yeah, lots of them can be.
In like the 1920s. Can you
Never
imagine?
had any qualms about diddling the fiddle,
I
right?
always see it. I'm not sure what that means, so I'm going to let that go.
Well,
Just
I don't, when
play-
you say diddle, I don't mean. I mean anything
That
that,
one
you,
gave me
anything,
a
that
hit.
you, anything that you engage in physically is a diddle. It doesn't matter. You know what I'm saying?
Gotcha.
Okay. So,
Okay.
like hi diddle diddle
Ah!
rhymes with a fiddle.
Wow, that was
yeah,
loud.
there you go.
Sorry. Okay, yeah, no, I get it now.
Okay, good.
Thank you.
Thank you.
I hope they have a compressor on this mic, but if not, I just shattered
A
somebody's
compressor.
TV.
Well, as long as they don't have a compression chamber, that's what we
Yeah.
don't want.
Okay, so my dad, my dad played the violin really well.
Okay.
He played the piano. He could play the guitar. He could play anything.
Was he in a band as
used
well?
he had a swing band when he was young.
Okay.
Before World War II.
Wow.
He was the band leader, singer. He sang beautifully. He was a
Awesome.
crooner.
Crooner, I know.
A crooner. His cousin, in fact, was a recording artist in Portugal, back around the First World War.
Wow. It's 100
and-
years ago.
It is.
Wow.
And he used to talk about his cousin Manny or Uncle Manny. I forget
Yeah,
what it
yeah.
was. And I go, yeah, Dad, I know. Nobody ever heard of this guy. And well, I was on YouTube. Speaking of YouTube,
Yep.
and I found 3 records of his
Wow.
on there. This guy whom I had never heard anyone mention except
I'm guessing
my
it was
dad.
a 78 speed if it goes
Yeah.
by. Wow.
Yeah. And of course,
records themselves
it's
are worth
like it's
fortune,
like listening
probably.
to a Portuguese version of that HBO show there with Nucky Thompson there. I forget
Okay.
the name. And you know, because the music is just from that era.
Yeah, yeah.
It's just really cool. But my dad was a great musician. He used to he taught me pretty much from the word go. You know, my basics. And so when I
Wow.
was about 5, 6 years old,
You didn't have to spring for music
they
lessons.
gave me
You
a
had your
drum
father.
set.
Oh, really?
A little cheesy plastic
Yeah.
toy
Okay.
drum set, and they immediately regretted that. Whereupon, after I had, like kids do, damaged it to the point where it was starting to get holes in things, and they gave me
But you didn't mean to.
my second instrument was a ukulele,
Cool.
which was much quieter.
Well,
Less
I don't
raucous.
know, really. Ukuleles. I mean, I know it's
Well,
quieter because
quieter than drums and a little kid.
Percussion instrument is strong, is heavy, but a ukulele can make some noise too if
Well,
you
it can.
strum it hard enough.
But it was actually in the shape of a banjo.
Okay.
Which is kind of interesting, and I'd never seen one
That's
since.
what they look like.
It was round. It had a little plastic head on it, you know, like a banjo has, and a bridge that slid around under the strings. And I used to use it as a drum, of course, because until I put a hole in it with a pen or something.
Ooh.
But that was my first real instrument musically, you know, melodically.
Okay.
And we used to play little songs like "Lady of Spain."
I know that one.
Oh, that was a big hit.
Three Dog
somewhere.
Night, right? No, that's up. I've never been to
No,
Spain.
I've never been to. Yeah,
Okay.
no, we're going way back. I don't even know when that was a popular tune, but it's kind of funny. I'd play that one with him. I play
Charleston?
no, the one from the Harlem Globetrotters there. That song, "Sweet Georgia Brown." That was my
That's the
favorite
name of that?
song
I
to
never
jam
knew the
with
name
my
of that.
dad. I used to jam with my dad on that song for as long as he would play it.
You play
He played the
basketball
violin,
to
I
it as
played
well?
the- Sorry?
Did you play basketball? What about
No,
athletic?
never.
Did you look athletic? Were
Never.
you athletic as a kid?
No, basketball was very, very bad to me. Every time I played that, you remember that game? What did they call it? Around the world or
Yeah,
something?
around
You
the
used
world.
to go back and forth,
You
shoot
make
from here,
free throws
shoot
from
from
one,
there.
yeah, the next
Everybody
what?
would be coming back. I would be lucky if I was on the second one.
Wow.
I was terrible. I was pretty good at tennis. I was
Really?
pretty
Okay.
good at.
Ping pong?
That was about it.
Oh, okay. That's all right. That's something.
Yeah, but I played on the football team.
I was
when
going to say, you're a
in high
big guy. I figured you maybe
school. Yeah,
play
they
a little
dragged me
football.
in there, and everyone said, "Oh, go do
Were you
it."
in high school, you mean?
Yeah, 8th grade, I started on the
8th grade,
freshman
wow.
team, made it to 9th grade. When I became a 10th grader, I said, you know, I don't really like this anymore. I want to go be a surfer.
A surfer?
I was growing up.
I mean,
I
I
grew up in.
coming from you, but if you say so.
Well, I grew up in.
But you were on the waterfront, yeah. Exactly.
Yeah, I mean, I grew up right down the street from the beach, more or less. You know.
But the waves can't be. Are they that good for surfing on the East Coast? Are they out on the West?
Listen, speaking of YouTube, here we go again.
Okay.
In 2012, there was a wonderful storm at one of my favorite surf spots called Ruggles. We called it Ruggles. And it's
Where
at
is
the
that?
end of Ruggles Avenue, which is off of Bellevue Avenue.
Well, not the hospital. Not to be confused with the hospital.
Nope, Bellevue Avenue is the street where all of the
Well, what
rich folks
town are we
live.
talking?
In Newport.
Newport. Okay, gotcha.
Sorry
All the
about
big
that.
mansions are.
Hi, Red. How are you?
Hey, right.
Yeah, I'm always looking at the wrong one. Anyway, Ruggles is the street right next to the Vanderbilt, the Breakers.
Oh yeah, I know that.
And the
spot,
reason
yeah.
they called it the Breakers is because of that.
Okay.
Place that we used to
So
go
basically,
surfing.
Newport's a good surfing spot.
There
if
are
you're in the
there
East
are
Coast.
some world class places in
Huh?
Newport.
Never knew that.
Very specific, because you got Newport's got at the bottom of whatever that water is there, Narragansett Bay.
Narragansett Bay.
And if you look at a world map, you'll see that Long Island is in the way.
You know what I
I
could never understand about surfing is that the waves come in. How are you going to get? But you're surfing. You're supposed to be going out. How do you do that? How do you
Well, you have
defy
to-
the waves that are coming in to make you go out when you're surfing? That's probably the difference between people that can surf and people like me who can't.
I'm not even sure what the question means, because
The question is
you
this.
have to
All right,
get
look,
through
look,
all
look
of the
here,
waves
look,
coming in.
Watch this. This is my hand. That's the beach.
Yeah.
These are ocean waves coming in.
Yeah.
Here's the guy on a surfboard trying to go out against this.
Yeah, therein lies the
How
rub.
does he go out? Or
Well,
a girl, anyone? How do they
It's
do it?
quite difficult. It depends on how high the waves are. If they're big, it can
So you
tire
basically
you out
you
pretty
basically
good.
have to go against the grain, literally, to get out.
You have to fight your way past, because they start breaking at a certain point.
Right.
In a place we all used to call the lineup. which is
Okay.
not to be confused with the police.
With the
kind.
police lamp,
But
right?
that lineup is where you can sit safely.
Or doing a
But
lineup of
before,
coke. I hope you
after
don't do
every
that.
wave, every
Right.
time you ride a wave, you got to fight your way back out there.
Exactly. Wow. Okay. So basically, it's the twists on the board that make it happen. I mean, the person twisting has to twist on the board. He kind of like when the wave's coming over, he or she has to go over the wave the other way, like almost like leapfrogging it.
Sometimes you flip over and go underneath.
And that's what you don't
We call
want.
that turning turtle. You do it on purpose. You're trying to go out, the wave is broken already, you flip over, and the wave rolls right over you, and then you flip back.
That could be dangerous. I
Surfing
would think.
lessons
Okay,
on the Raynham Channel. All
There you
right.
go. And see that?
Yeah.
I
From
told
a-
you the show goes. You
from
never
a
know
fat
where we're
old
going to
guy
go with the
who
topic
doesn't
time
surf
when you have a
anymore.
show like this. But well, so did you do surfing?
I did it up until the point where I realized that I was living in Boston, and it was a big pain in the neck, a big fat pain in the neck,
So,
to get to the beach and find out there was no wave
yeah.
that day, you know.
I wonder why there's fewer waves in Boston than there are
That
down.
one I can answer very easily.
Okay.
That's because of Cape Cod.
Oh, because the Cape holds the waves down.
To get waves in Boston, you got to get a northeast swell, which
Right.
doesn't happen very often.
Okay.
And to get waves in Newport, you have to have a southeast swell.
Okay.
Because it can't get past Nantucket and Martha's Vineyard.
Yeah.
and
So
all
basically,
those
I know what you're
things
saying. So the
to get to.
landmass basically holds the waves away from the city.
Absolutely.
That's interesting.
And that's why places like Hawaii have those huge waves, because there's 1,000, 2,000, 1,500, I don't know, miles of open
Sure.
ocean with storms and wind. And of course, wind is what makes waves, as you know.
Right.
And it's all open, and so they have a chance to really get some serious
Speaking
energy
of Hawaii,
play.
have you ever been there or anywhere else?
No, I wish. Well, I've been anywhere else.
Well, I mean,
but I've never-
anywhere else for surfing.
Oh, for surfing, no. I mean,
Okay.
I've surfed in California,
Well, that's what I mean.
but just because I was there, I rented a board. You know what I mean?
Okay.
I didn't really go there for that purpose.
What did you do there? What were you there for? Business, music, pleasure?
It was a
whatever?
business. Yeah, it was a business trip. I was very lucky. I worked for Grossman's. Remember Grossman's?
I
Lumber?
do. We had one
Grossman's Lumber.
right down the street from me.
Really?
Oh, absolutely. I
They
remember I
sent
picked
me-
up a girl thumbing for there on November 16th, 1978. She worked there, and I gave her a lift.
Is
It
that
was,
right?
it was week before Thanksgiving. It was a Thursday.
That's really impressive.
Oh, yeah, I told you.
Someone look that up.
Go ahead. Well, you know what happened the next day? Well, let me think. Let me just make absolutely sure if that's... Yeah, it was the next day was that Jonestown thing in Mass. I hate to use that example, but you remember Jim
Wow.
Jones and the Kool-Aid? That was the next day after that.
Cheapers, really?
Yeah, I remember that too.
Wow, that was an awful thing.
Wow, that's interesting. Well,
Anyway,
yeah, but go on. So,
all right. So I was a computer programmer for a long time.
okay,
Worked on mainframe computers.
All right.
The big guys.
cool.
My dream in life
How long have you
was...
been doing that for? I mean, how long ago was that?
Well, it took me a long time to get to that. I got out of high school. I went to University of Rhode Island.
Class of 73 by any chance?
73.
Yep, there you go. I just figured that out because I don't know, you told me what year you were born. That meant you probably graduated in 73.
And I didn't flunk anything. So
Wow,
I made it
I flunked
right on
everything.
time.
I'm amazed. It's
I
amazing.
made it on time.
Amazed I'm not still going to school here, let alone doing a show.
And luckily, I was born when I was born in February because then I went into the class at the right time and everything worked out just right.
1955.
Good guess. This man's amazing.
Oh yeah, thank you. He is.
Where are the cigars? Anyway, is there a cigar over there for this man?
I haven't smoked a cigar, man. You kidding me?
But it's vegetable matter. Come on.
I know, but
You could always
I have
eat it.
asthma though. I can't.
You could eat it.
What's that?
You could
Eat a cigar? Yeah, it's
It's
possible.
vegan. It's totally vegan.
Yeah, I know, but it can also be irritating. You got to remember, there's carcinogens in a cigar too. I can't eat carcinogens.
No, you're no fun. Okay, so we won't make you do it.
Okay,
Promise.
thanks. That's like Joe with the Three Stooges. He had to eat a cigar. Remember that? You're a Three Stooges fan, aren't you? We could spend the whole
Do we
hour.
have time for a stupid story? I was in the hospital. I got pucked off my motorcycle.
Okay.
I call it that because that's what it sounded like.
Like a hockey puck hitting the ice.
Yeah, it was
Right,
like
I
a
got you.
slap shot.
Right.
I was on my own street. I'd been on a beautiful day, the 2nd of November in 1989. And I was ready to, I don't know what day of the week it was, but I
It
was...
was a Thursday. I'm sorry, it was a Wednesday. Wednesday.
Really?
Yep.
That's really cool, Rain Man. I love that.
There you go.
Cool. Anyway, I bought some dog food, put it on the tank, the bag between my legs on the tank, pull out of the parking lot of the...
Actually, wait a minute. It was a Thursday. I'm sorry. I have to think.
might
for a
have been,
second.
yeah.
Positive with Thursday. Yep.
Wow.
Okay.
7-Eleven, anyway. And I made it about 25 feet when I see this lady coming. Oh, well, I didn't know it was a lady. See a car kind of drifting over onto my side of the street. It looked like she was trying to turn into a driveway.
Okay.
Well, she wasn't. She was sleeping.
Oh, really? Behind the wheel?
Yeah. Not very fast. I mean, she wasn't going fast.
I know, but it's
It
still
was a
dangerous.
beautiful, sunny fall afternoon.
Yeah, it
The
was.
sun was in her eyes. It was like
I just had my
4 o'clock or
30th
something.
birthday a month earlier.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow, you're such a youngster.
I know.
Anyway, when I realized that she was not going to go back, I started to go a little around her, and next thing I know, puck!
Yeah, okay. You
I wake up
collided.
and I'm looking at the sky. Anyway, the story about the Three Stooges has to do with me in the emergency room. My girlfriend at the time...
Righto, make so bodies new. We'll sell 1 million bottles. Woo, 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 woo. Right?
I love this guy. I'm laying on the table, right? I can't see my leg because if I sit up, my knee was somewhere up here. You know.
Pull off my leg, Mo. Get you a new leg. It's funny. You've been dancing in 6 months. I never could dance before.
That's good, yeah.
Yeah, I know.
But this part was, the shin was totally smashed.
Oh, my
Both bones
goodness.
they were
So
all
you're lucky
right.
you didn't really lose your leg.
Oh, in fact, that's what I was about to get to.
Okay, go ahead.
I said, Doc, my girlfriend's standing there. She's like all crying.
It's not your wife, right?
No,
Oh,
no, this was
different.
This
Okay.
is somebody else. And I had the doctor's looking at me, and I said, Doc, what do you think? What's the worst case? What's going on? He says, well, Mr. Faria. He was one of the few people who said Mr. Faria. He was Italian.
Faria, got it.
I'm Portuguese, but he was Italian, and he
Okay.
said Faria, Mr. Faria. And he had a bit of an Italian accent. And he said, you could lose your leg.
Wow.
And I looked at him, and I looked at Julie, my ex-girlfriend.
Then girlfriend, yep.
And I said, but Doc, I can't lose my leg. I've had it
Ever since you were a little
I was
kid.
a little kid. And then no one laughed because they thought I was in shock, which undoubtedly I
probably were.
was. But, that's just my personality. My personality...
Did you remember the show Your Vein? Did you remember the show Your Vein? The men are picking shovels. If we go any deeper, we can use old dynamite, not in my vein. Thanks anyway, Doc. We'll handle the vein ourselves, right?
That's hilarious. Well, this is going into the hospital, right?
Right.
So I'm going in. They say, well, if it's a type 3B. If it was a type 3C, we'd have to cut it up. But we're getting feeling in the toes, and we can get the blood.
Oh, yeah.
And so they said, okay, you're not going to lose your leg. And I said, that's really good.
Yeah, I guess it was.
So I'm in the hospital for like 3 3.5 weeks. I have several operations.
Yeah?
I'm in there, and they're giving me Demerol,
Good stuff.
which is awesome. Although at first it was not that awesome. First I got morphine. And,
1979,
drip.
I had Demerol when I had my back surgery. I used to take it every 4 hours, even though I wasn't in any pain, just for the rush.
Well, yeah.
I loved it. But
That's
go
good
on,
stuff.
Demerol, yes.
So I'm on the bed, and one morning I'm having my breakfast, and I'm watching the Three Stooges.
Okay.
And I was laughing my head off.
Oh, of
I
course.
tell you, I don't even know how I could even contain myself. I was having such a good time.
I know.
That I actually called the nurse, and I said, and they came in and said, "What's up?" And I said, "Well, you got to see this. This is the best show, the best episode of the."
Dr. Howard, Dr. Fine, Dr. Howard.
They stopped my Demerol right after.
Okay. That must have been because you were high on the Demerol, but it's still funny to me. Yeah.
And I haven't had any since.
Me either.
I swear to God.
I mean, the last Demerol shot I had was January 18th, 1979. It was a Thursday. So it's been 36 years and some change.
Yeah.
Wow.
That's a long time.
Well, listen, you want to do it? Let's hear one of your songs because I've been.
You want to do that?
Yeah.
I don't see why not.
You get 3 of them. We can still
All right, let me give you a little rundown.
goofy banter in between. But let's. Go
The
ahead.
first song that I would like to do is a song that I wrote about what everyone experiences when they, well, not what everyone, what I've experienced.
That's
okay?
what your experience.
But I think a lot of people feel the same way. They wake up, they feel really bad. It's like a pain that won't go away, all this stuff. But it's a I forget the word, catharsis.
Catharsis. Yep.
To write the song, get it out of me, it was like, oh, okay, I'm fine now. So anyway, that's what this is all about, and it's called Half-Assed Love.
Beautiful.
And I hope that we can cue that up.
Cue it up.
Assuming that oh, there he is. Look, it's Trevor.
Thanks, Trev. Good man.
Trevor,
Good man. You're a
Trevor
man.
has saved us yet again.
He did.
Once more into the breach.
And watch how he does this, folks.
First, I put on my eye protection because it could very well cause things to break when I sing.
There you go. When he sings, he hits that high note, which he will.
He's giving me the countdown.
There you go.
And he's not hearing anything.
Come on. Stay with it. Stay with it in there. Don't give up.
Wherefore art thou, Bobby? Ah, that's it.
Almost, almost. He's almost got it.
I think you got to start that over again because I don't know where I am in the song now in the band. I can't tell the band. Wait a minute. Thanks, bro. Trevor's all right, isn't
He's the man.
he? Thank you. Well, when I wake up in the morning, the first thing that I do is push away that pillow that my dreams told me was you. Everything around me reminds me of the good times that we had, and I feel sad. But I can't help thinking, babe, what made you treat me so bad? I just don't know. Well, I fire up the coffee but just 1 cup instead of 2. And then once again in the shower, I see that bottle of your favorite shampoo. And then when I'm looking for a t-shirt, I find that earring that you've been looking for in my top drawer. And I think, hey, I'll bring it over. But there's no way I'm knocking on your new man's door. No. Ain't no way. Or was it only my fault? Did I come on too strong? Is that why I'm lonely today? Did you mean one single word that you said? Or did you always have a half-assed love? Well, you know, I think you had a half-assed love. Bring it back on over here. My friends try to tell me that our love just wasn't meant to be. And if I find out that they're wrong, they say, someday you'll come back to me. But between now and then, I just have to wait to find out whatever will be. Well, that sounds real easy to them, but it sure is hard for me. It sure is hard for me. All right, bring it down, band. The hours turn to days, the days into weeks, as I try to find things I can do to quiet my mind, comfort my soul, keep me from thinking about you. But every now and then, I hear that one little thing that someone around me will say, and that sends me plunging right back into, how can you be even this way? I just don't know, baby. Oh, was it only my fault? Did I come on too strong? Is that why I'm lonely today? Did you mean one single word that you said? Or did you always have a half-assed love? I think you had a half-assed love, baby. Fade to black.
Awesome, man. High five. That's great.
Thanks, brother.
Wow, I've never done it like
Thanks.
that.
Good solo, man.
Yeah, thank you.
You sounded awesome.
I know. I guess I fit in sort of. I took piano lessons for 7 years.
Did you?
Yeah, I did. Yep. From December 27th, 1965, which was a Monday, it was a Monday, to,
Monday.
Let's see, what was the date I quit? It was April 17th, 1973, which was also a Monday. How about that? Yep, there you go. So
you actually
it
get
was
a
a
little...
Tuesday. I'm sorry, it was a Tuesday.
Wow, you got 2 days overtime. That's awesome.
Yeah. So
Nice.
yeah, wow, that was great.
Oh, thanks. I don't know.
I didn't think that was going to work. When we talked earlier, I thought you'd really need. So you're basically you're the vocals of the band, and you obviously.
And the guitarist, but
you wrote the song, right?
I wrote the song.
You wrote it.
Yep,
Okay.
I lived it.
He lived it, and he lived it too.
Even worse. Yes, I lived it.
And he kept his leg at the boot.
I
He
kept
kept his leg to boot. Ha ha ha.
To boot. That's good.
Yeah.
I'm telling you. Don't quit your day job.
I know.
But still, it was pretty good.
Oh, that was.
So-
It was wonderful.
So, you know, a lot of my music is about relationship
Yeah.
things that, in fact, this is my first solo, not solo, but my first Bobby Faria thing.
There you go.
I was a sideman for many, many years. I won't say how many because I can't count that high. I ran out of fingers. So, you know, I started out...
Better be a side man than a side kick, right? Especially
yes,
if you get kicked in the side every time you
That's
side.
right.
Take the wrong
Especially one
side.
named Tonto, which
Right.
I didn't know because I took French, but apparently that's
It means
not
stupid.
a very good name at all.
No, it isn't. It's Esperanto.
But then I learned why my grandmother used to say to me, she would go, Tonto.
Oh, that's right. It was a
It's
Portuguese, word, too.
version
I
of
didn't know that.
Tonto.
Yeah.
But she probably didn't get into the Lone Ranger very much, but she didn't know.
Right.
So anyway, yeah, no, I used to, I came to Boston after 8 years of college to get a BS.
We know what
That's
that
not
stands
easy,
for.
believe me.
But what college was it?
Changed, oh, you name it. I went to URI, I went to...
I was there March 23rd, 2013 to do a film.
Really?
Actually, that was just 2 years ago and 2 days ago.
I didn't see you.
I know you. I'd never been to URI before. I didn't even get in. I don't know if I was even in the film. They showed it a little. It was just an extra thing. I never got to see it. But boy, it was a long trip from where I live.
Yeah, it is. It's a nice area, though,
It is. It's a very nice area.
luckily.
All right, so
Anyway,
you
I
went to
there
URI. Where else
too.
did you go?
I went to Salem State for a little while.
Wow.
I dropped out many.
Salem, Mass, right?
Yeah.
Because there's a Salem, New Hampshire.
Well, I
too.
came to Boston because my sister lived up here, and I was excuse me, I'm
Okay.
taking a
Contacts, I know.
eyelash
Yeah.
out of my eye. My sister lived up here, and I came to visit her a lot, and I liked it up here. It was kind
Sure.
of fun. All the colleges, all the young people, and everything.
There you
So,
go. I don't blame you.
You know, so, but anyway, when I finally got out of school, I had finally found what I thought I wanted to do, which was computer programming, and so I did that for a number of years.
Right.
Probably about 20 years.
Are you still?
I don't do that
You
anymore.
don't do it
no.
anymore. Okay.
Because technology changed, and I was left behind, basically.
I hear
Because because of the
You weren't
way
left behind. You just chose not to keep up with technology.
Well, I was left behind on, yeah, exactly.
I hear you.
I left myself behind. I said, this is my stop.
You could write a song about
Y2K.
that. I left myself behind because I didn't want to keep up. Do 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 do. Hey, what do you think of that?
Those subscriptions are expensive.
I
You know
know.
what I mean? Anyway, I got into the music scene. I really
dig
I'd
it.
always been a musician. I played in a band. We had, a band in high school.
Okay.
We had 3 gigs maybe throughout the entire time we were a band. And I still see the guys on Facebook. It's really fun.
Do you ever get together and
Not
get
yet.
jam
One of
again?
the drummer came all the way up from South Carolina
Wow.
because he had to for family reasons. But
I hear you.
he came up and he stayed with me for a couple of days.
Okay.
A couple of years ago, and it was great because we went out to a jam a jam session at a club in Roslindale, and
You mean to play it or what? Or
to
just
play.
listen? Oh, to play.
Well, to listen and to play. You know,
to
I know
play.
the band. They
Cool.
say, hey, but, I mean, it's a jam, but they call up people
Right.
that they know can play. So I said, hey, make sure you call me up with John. He was my drummer from high school.
high school, yeah.
See, I don't even remember what the name of that band was. I don't even know if we had it.
Just a bunch of kids without a name.
That's why my band is called Bobby Faria and Friends, because I have no more ability to think of a title for a band. It's just really hard.
Yeah. That's not a bad name.
No, I mean, it's just, somebody said, Bob, I want you to play here. This is in January. I said,
You have a
"Bobby,
musical sounding name too, by the way.
Do I really?
Faria, I definitely think so. Yeah.
That's really nice and darn coincidental, I might add. Anyway, I was approached by a fellow who books this club, Pete's Grill,
Okay.
in Quincy,
Yep.
a big music
Hancock
club.
Street.
No, it's actually right over near where the old shipyard used to
Oh,
be.
okay. I don't know that
The
area. I know
street,
Hancock
I can't think of the
Street.
name of the street, but it is on the same road that the Yard Rock used to be.
Okay.
And now it's called something else, I forget what. But anyway, Pete's Grill, sorry about that microphone.
Okay.
Wow, that was a big loud one, huh?
That was a good one. They'll polish it off. They'll get your germs off
Guy
before the
named
next person comes in, I promise you.
Satch Romano
Okay.
says to me,
I know the name.
Bob Romano is his real
Yeah.
first name, but Satch is his nickname. Great harmonica player,
Yep.
band leader himself. But he's like a wheeler dealer.
Yeah.
He's always got something in the fire. And he says, Bobby, I want you to do the jam here on the 29th of January. And I go, Satch, I don't have a band. And he says, well, get one.
Wow. I hear you.
I
That's
did.
what you mean by wheeler dealer.
Well, so I did, and
He's a pragmatist is what he is.
first thing I did was I found people that I knew that I would have wanted in my band if I was going to have a band.
Wow.
And so I very carefully chose three excellent musicians.
What'd you find them? I mean, these weren't your high school kids, were they?
Oh, no,
high
they're
school
all spread
mates.
all over. They're mostly,
Right.
one's in Maine, one's in Newport, and one's in South Carolina.
Wow. When's the last one in?
South Carolina.
Oh, South Carolina. Okay.
He's
Yeah.
still down there.
Sure.
And Greenville, I think
Yeah.
it is. But anyway, these guys are all from the Boston area. They are terrific players.
Yeah,
I mean,
wow.
I'm very, very lucky to have them with me. There's Dominic Nicorelli on the drums. He's a real powerhouse of a guy. I played in bands with him in the past, and
Wow.
I knew him. And then I sort of lost contact because of just the way life is, and
Sure.
I didn't see him very much. And coincidentally, one day I'm like, what am I going to do? It's January, the 2nd or 3rd or 4th. I was at a place called Players in,
Boston.
I forgot where it is.
Quincy,
No,
Franklin.
it's in the woods somewhere, in, near, where the heck is it? Anyway, don't worry about it. A big club. And who's doing the sound but Dominic Nicorelli.
Cool.
So I said, Dominic, what are you doing the 29th? And I had a drummer.
Well, there you go.
One I knew and one I liked.
Sure.
Because the thing about drummers is, to me, the perfect drummer is not necessarily the guy who can play like so much great stuff that you go, wow, what a great drummer. To me, what a great drummer is the guy that you don't ever, you're up there and you hear something that's like really, really weird, and
Yeah.
you turn around and you look at him and you go, what was that?
Oh, I know.
And
Yeah.
Dominic is not one of those people that you turn around and look at like that. You turn around and go, "Ooh,"
Yeah.
you know?
He's got the rhythm.
So I'm happy.
Yeah.
Then there's Tom Pugh. Tom Pugh is a man I've known for 25 years easily.
Okay.
Well, it wasn't that easy, really, some of those years.
The years don't go by.
Yeah, but Tommy is a bass player, a guitar player. He works for WGBH.
No kidding.
In
Oh, yeah, I know.
many
That's where I've seen the name.
many capacities,
Yeah, WGBH.
You've
Channel
probably
2.
seen his name in the credits.
Sure,
on a
I
number of
have.
shows,
I
yeah.
have.
And he runs this, let's see if I can remember that, Plugged In. He runs the Plugged In Teen Band program in the town of Needham,
Okay.
which is very successful, I think, hopefully.
There you go.
Program for after-school kids.
Right. Needham's probably an upscale town, so it's probably, I'm sure the kids are pretty motivated, I would think.
A lot of them are very talented. I
Yeah.
actually taught, well, or whatever it is you call it. What it basically is a place where they can go and have a band, form a band with other like-minded individuals,
Right.
and have adult supervision, but also talent adult supervision.
Sure.
People who can say, look, what you're doing wrong is you're too close to the mic, or try doing this on that turnaround, and you'll feel.
Have you ever taught music to anybody?
Well, I did. I taught guitar for a few years. Yeah.
You taught which?
I taught
Oh, you
guitar.
taught guitar. Okay, you gave
And
guitar.
I
lessons.
also worked at Plugged In for a while as
Okay.
as a substitute. Like there
Sure.
was some guy who had some things going on. He was missing this week and he missed that week, and so Tom would call me, and I'd cover it. But I'm not really a teacher so much as I am a person who can give people
Advice.
some things.
Yeah, it's something,
So,
something they can use.
In fact, Tom was one of my students at one point. Actually.
Wow.
He said to me, Bobby, I would love to learn how to play like you, which is like probably the nicest thing that anybody can say.
Sure is.
And so I thought, well, jeepers, all right. And so I said, come on over, and we, boy, did I digress on this one. Anyway, he was one of my first students.
Wow.
Basically. But I did teach out of my house for a while in Squantum. I live in Squantum, we're part of Quincy, which is
Okay.
right near Marina Bay. Across the water from Marina Bay, across
Sure.
from, it's a perfect place. Across from the JFK Library and UMass and City, Boston
Oh,
Skyline.
yeah, you're right on the Boston end there,
It's
right near the
beautiful.
Boston. Yeah.
It's like, and I'm
Well, I go to Quincy. I'll be in Quincy tomorrow. I go to the Whole Foods. I go to the Good Health store every week.
Oh, Good Health, okay.
Great
Too bad.
store. Yeah.
I was thinking, oh boy, there's a Whole Foods in Quincy.
No, there's not a Whole Foods, but I go to one. I go to the one in Wayland. That's the other. That's the Whole Foods I go to.
Oh, really?
Great town too.
Anyway, so Tom is on the bass,
Yeah.
and he has always been a good friend. He's always been a good player, and I used to call him, this is kind of a side thing, but I used to call him B-side.
Going which?
B-side.
B-side?
B-side. You remember 45s?
Oh, B-side.
Okay.
Yes, the flip side.
There was a hit
There was
And
a hit
then
on
there
one,
was
on
a
the A
song
side,
on the
and the
other-
A side was the second, right.
And the B-side had another song.
So it's
Well,
not as good as the first
Tommy
one,
used
but
to
sometimes
come-
it is.
Yeah, sometimes they're great songs.
Yep.
So I used to play with a guy named Jose Ramos, who
Okay.
had a jam session type gig in a hotel. I forgot the name of the hotel now, Days Inn, I think it was. But anyway, the point is, Tom came to the jam, and this is, I think, how I met him pretty much. I might have known him already, but essentially he played a song that no one ever heard of. Nobody had ever heard of this song, but it was terrific. And he did a great job of it and got the house all rocking.
Awesome, as it
And-
should be.
And so I go, man, I never heard of that song in my life, you know. So he did it again the next time, and other times I'd see him at the Cantab Lounge.
Well, I know the Cantab Lodge in Weymouth.
No,
Oh.
but you're doing good. It's in Massachusetts. It's in Cambridge.
That's right. I'm thinking of the. You know what I'm thinking of? I'm thinking of the sanctuary. There's a place in Weymouth too. It's actually an animal sanctuary /
Really?
Catbird Cafe.
Oh,
Catbird.
I don't know that
Have
one.
you ever heard of it? Oh, I've been there. I couldn't believe it. It's actually they've got reptiles and they've got musicians. See, I swear to goodness,
There's
they
not that
do.
much difference in
Yeah,
sound.
I know, it's definitely
I've known
different.
some, especially band leaders are a lot
Yep.
likely to be like a snake-like in some ways.
Yeah, right. There you go. Well, I've had all kinds of awesome
Yeah.
venues for my show, and that was one of them.
Really?
Yeah, January 27, 2012 was a Friday. So that's when I did it. But okay. Listen, I got an idea. You want to play another song? We're in the final 15 minutes. I don't know how
Are we
long it
really?
is.
My God, you can talk a lot, Bob.
I know.
Sure, let's do another song. Why not?
If it's long as it's actually we're in the final 13 minutes, so it's going
Really?
to be.
Oh, well, in that case, I'm going to have to use cheat notes on this one because I just wrote this one recently. Where is it? I've lost it. Okay. Why is nothing happening? Oh, I'm in the wrong place. That's why. Undo, close. Technology, isn't it wonderful?
It is.
Provided it does not. You know what? I'm going to do the third song that's on that list there. It's called Make the Break.
Okay, I like it.
And it's a blues tune.
Sounds like a song about Devil's Island.
Does it?
Yeah,
Oh,
Make the
it
Break.
does, yeah. Papillon.
Papillon.
Yeah, I'm going to have to use my cheat notes, but I hope you all won't mind.
Okay, it's okay. We'll give as long as you keep singing well. That's all that matters. Here you go.
I got the feeling things are different. The way you talk to me has changed. Gotta do some rearranging. I'm tired of your silly games. I know what you've been doing. You've been stepping out on me. But you like that I provide for you a life of luxury. Well, you're gonna break that habit, girl, 'cause it's time to make the break from me. I know that you've been having lots of fun behind my back. It seems you need variety, and that's something I can't give you. Can't give you that. If you had any decency, you'd pack your stuff and leave, and let me get over you and have some time to grieve. Please, girl, I'm begging you, you gotta make the break from me. Tell them about it, Bobby. While I look for my sunglasses. Let's get my eyes. can't escape your karma. You're gonna reap the things you sow. And the stuff you're pulling, baby, tells me it's your time to go. Maybe somewhere out there, there's a man that wouldn't care. But baby, I can't wait to get you out of my hair. If you can't break with your shifty ways, you gotta shift away from me. Please send me a new girl. Each day I pray to the Lord above, someone I can count on to give me all her love. A woman who above all else will always be my friend. Someone who will have my back until the very end. I know you can't be that girl, so you got to make the break from me. Oh, I'm afraid so. I don't want you to be that girl, so you got to make the break from me. Get on the road, baby. There's the door. Won't be shedding no tears about this.
Awesome, man, awesome.
Thank you.
Well done. Yeah, you can sing those blues pretty
Well, you got to live them
outspread
first.
and wide out.
You got to live them first, you know. Sometimes, because I had some rough times
Yeah.
in
I
my
get
life.
you.
I've had many bad things happen. I've had
You almost lost your leg, we know that, but
Well, yeah, you know, I've been married a couple of times extra.
oh, cool. Well, it's
And,
been more
you
than
know,
I-
those
more
are
than-
painful.
that's a couple more than I've been
Chose a
married.
lot of the wrong women, you know. I mean, they were nice people, but they weren't the right woman for me.
Okay, well,
Until one day I finally met the girl I'm married to now for it's going to be 20 years this June.
that's incredible. Good for you.
Karen is the perfect lady for me.
You have any kids?
We do not. We did. We didn't really. We were 40 when we met.
Okay, well, you
And-
know something? That's probably just as well. Kids can kids are great, but they can handle a relationship
They
too.
can. They can certainly do that. They can also come pick you up, you know, when you're old and take you to the doctor.
Yeah, oh, yeah.
But
well, yeah.
Luckily, I have lots of nieces and nephews.
There you go. I have one nephew. He's a little young to drive now, but by
Yeah.
the time I'm old enough to need to be picked up, hopefully he'll be good enough to go and help me. So let me ask you, what does your future look like with the band now?
Well, I didn't get through with the whole band. I got to make sure that I mention Ed.
Oh, go ahead, mention him.
Okay.
And then tell me.
Ed Arnold is the guitar player that I was going to bring tonight.
Okay.
I couldn't because he had to be somewhere else.
Right, exactly.
And I, you know, I wouldn't have done this recorded version of my stuff. It would have been, you know, like what do you call it? An unplugged version of Bobby Faria.
Right.
My friend. But Eddie is a terrific drummer.
Right. Wow.
First of all, he's a terrific drummer. He's not the drummer in this band. He is also a really good guitar player. He sings immensely high and low, and he has a great range.
Crooner.
And he can do harmonies. He's a great organizer. In fact, he's kind of the iron fist when we rehearse, you know, to keep
Cool.
us all going in the right
There you
direction.
go. He's the inspiration.
And Eddie is not here today, as I said, but I've known him for probably 3 years, maybe. Not that long, maybe 4. But we actually played together on a few occasions. I used to play with a fellow by the name of Shorty Billups.
Okay.
And
These guys all have musical names, by the way.
Shorty is actually Shorty, but he liked to had a different ring to it, you know. His name is
course.
actually Eddie.
Okay.
He was a recording artist in the 60s. He had a number of R&B songs back when men wore their hair up like that, you know, like boom.
R&B in the 60s. I didn't know R&B started that
Oh,
far
it
back.
did in his neighborhood. Oh, yeah.
Oh, that's interesting.
Yeah.
Cool.
Oh, yeah. And he was in. I'm sorry, what was I trying to say? He was. Yeah, he had some great songs. Anyway, the point is that he's a drummer also.
Okay.
And so he also puts on a great show. When he gets a good gig, I was a saxophonist, and he would get a good gig, and he would hire Eddie to play the drums, so he could go out and wear his bright red suit and top hats and great cool stuff, and do a big show for the people, because his interaction with the people is somewhat limited if he's got to be over there beating on the skids, you know. But he was the singer, he was the star of the show, but Ed, that's how I met Eddie, and I go, man, that guy's good, I like him. And then one night we're playing, and I'm hearing harmony, and I go, who's doing that? And it was Eddie. He was back there. He had a mic. I didn't even know, and he's singing along. And I said,
and he found a guy can sing too, aside from everything else.
Yeah, and then later he brings to a jam at the Cantab Lounge in the Central Square, Cambridge. He comes in with a ukulele.
Wow.
And he played.
A la Slim Whitman.
Funny story. He played. He gets up on the stage with us, and I had my guitar. The rest of the band was up there, and Eddie wants to do this song, and he says it's in. I think he said it's in B flat, and just follow me. And I go, what song is it? And he looks at me. I don't know if I'm going to talk to the camera. He looks at me and he goes, I'm not going to tell you. Just like that. It was the funniest thing. And so to me it was funny, because I thought it was like a kind of an unusual thing to do if you're going to play a song and he's not going to tell you what it is. Well, it turns out it was a Miles Davis song, believe it or not. Miles Davis, So What, which is kind of an interesting song that Miles wrote long ago. And it has a unique bass line, and we have 2 minutes and 40 seconds. Oh my God.
Wow.
Played it on the ukulele.
Wow, you wouldn't
Played it. It was awesome.
Of course.
And like a month later, I ran into him, and he said, man, that was so much fun when we did that song that night. So that was why when I said I need a guitar player, I called Eddie.
Okay.
So that's the story, Morning Glory.
That's the band.
The future of the band is, in the immortal words of that sheriff from the great movie, Dirty Mary and Crazy Larry.
Okay.
From the 1970s.
It's not Andy Griffith, obviously.
No. No, it was with Peter
I saw Clint Eastwood might have been in there.
Peter Fonda's movie. When I had this urge to have a movie come out that was nothing but a car chase, and that's what that movie was.
Cool.
They rob a grocery store, and then they get chased for an hour and a half, and then they all die.
All right, listen, we're out down to the last under 2 minutes. Give as many shouts out as you can real quick, and we're going to wrap it up with the chair dance again. You're up for that.
All right, man. Thank you for having me. I appreciate it.
Awesome.
And top end is unlimited.
You got it, yeah.
That was the line from the movie. I just thought
The top end is unlimited. Okay. Yeah. Well, I want to thank you guys for watching tonight. Bobby with Faria was a great guest.
Faria.
I got it right, and we're going to be wrapping up the chair dance, and see you guys next week with another awesome edition of Topic Time with Harrison Young.
Yes, sir.
Hang on as long as we can.
I think it's a samba.
It's a great soundbite.
It's either a samba or
samba.
Some kind of. Anyway, it's definitely Brazilian.
Guy likes to dance. You can see it. That's why I decided to go a little
I like
longer.
to make other people dance.
Indeed.
Thank you so much for having me.
Thank you. Yeah.